He's played 100 tests for the All Blacks, Mils Muliaina, and of course is entrenched as part of that Sky Sport commentary team in the breakdown on Sunday. And we warmly welcome you back to the program, Mils. Thanks so much, mate.
No worries. Great to be on.
Damn, those Chiefs look good, don't they? I'm looking at the Highlanders, and we had Clark Dermody on the program during the week, and, you know, I feel for the guy. I mean, good God, he's a great coach, but he's got a team that's shipped 100 points. How do they go into this game tonight, mate?
Oh, man. I don't know. I mean, you know, your first comment about the Chiefs, they're looking so hot. I think they've got a really nice balance in terms of his squad, plenty of depth. I feel for Durham's 11 changes. I think he's sort of had to make. He's had to rest his captain because he was on All Black duties if he didn't play. So there's a lot there. But I think what we know about the Highlanders is there's plenty of grit and determination, and also this New Zealand conference. That anyone can tip anyone over on any given day. I suppose the biggest thing for them is they probably haven't got. Well, they definitely haven't got the strike weapons that the Chiefs have in their squad. But one guy that I've been really impressed with is Zumanga Jensen. They've got to get him some ball, obviously, but and also some of his defensive efforts has been really good. But I can't see them tipping over the Chiefs, to be totally honest, Marty. It's just they just look so hot at the moment.
Yeah, they do, don't they? I mean, they're playing well, and as you say, they're stacked with great players and things. And yeah, I mean, I didn't know what to say to him about it because, when you've shipped 100 points, I mean, obviously at some stage you've got to get the season back on track. But to be honest, mate, playing the Blues, Crusaders, Chiefs first three games, I mean, it's a hell of a draw, isn't it?
Yeah, not ideal, is it?
Not ideal, mate, no.
Nah, but I think, they would. I mean, it is. I mean, it is still a long way to go in the season, and when you're vying for eight positions, they've still got a chance. So I think obviously the heads will be down after 2 weeks, but the bigger picture is just get yourself into the eight. You get yourself into the eight, and anything can happen given those quarterfinals. But how do you do that when you've got a team down in confidence? I think the pleasing part for last week when they started, they start really well. The week before they didn't start so well, but they've come back and so they've got the start right and also the end. So it's just that middle part. It's just staying in the fight and winning sort of big moments as they always say, and not sort of giving the other team opportunities. And so there is plenty of evidence that they have got a solid team. They just need to get it together.
Yeah, he was saying to us, Mils, that turnover ball was really hurting them, and the way that the game is played at the moment, and especially, I don't know whether the rule changes have meant it's even faster and it speeds up now, but it's almost like that league thing, where you beat your first man, you get a break on, it's almost impossible to stop a try.
Yeah, absolutely, and given the fatigue factor as well.
Yep.
You're right in the game, and before you know it, someone makes a break. There's an offload that's given there under the sticks. Okay, you're down by 7 points, but then all of a sudden, 2 minutes later, you don't win the kickoff, and they're back down the other end, and then it starts to slowly blow out. And when you're a team that's sort of low in confidence, it's really hard to get that moment back. Or as I mentioned before, stay in the fight. And don't concede any more points, and then sort of put yourself in a position, 10 minutes to go to really come back and fight it, because then it's a different picture.
Yep.
When someone breaks the line like Moonga did, off a turnover down in the own 22, and they capitalise off that, you're going far out. You're under the your own in goal line. You're thinking, oh man, how can we stop this team? When theoretically, you're actually applying pressure, on the Crusaders, and it could have easily gone the other way if you'd held onto the ball. Those are the moments they're not winning at the moment. And if they can get that right, as I said, in the middle part of their game and stay in it, they're fighters. And the goalie always sort of says, because he loves that team, that they're the underdogs, or they're battlers. So they haven't been. They've got a good team. They've won a championship.
Yeah.
And I think sometimes it's almost you get the feeling that they think, we want that tag just to try and get us, into things. I think they've got to try and sort of, that tag's long and gone. They're a championship team. Aaron Smith coming back now. They'll bring plenty of leadership, and hopefully his kicking game's on point. But, they'll be there or thereabouts come the 8, I reckon.
Yeah, no, look, I mean, I don't mind if the a couple of the Aussie teams are rubbish, mate, and everyone's belting them. But I don't want Fiji and Drua to be like that. I don't want MP to be like that, and I certainly don't want any of the New Zealand sides. The other thing is when you mention Aaron and you mention Umaga Jensen as well. When you're on the back foot like that, I mean, you've still got to be trying to impress the All Blacks selectors. So there's actually plenty of individual stuff to play for as well. So, I mean, here's hoping they get up. But at the same time, I'm enjoying this Chiefs side, mate. They're playing damn good rugby. They kicked it off against the Crusaders. And for them to be as impressive as this so early in the season, my only worry is, lads, there's a hell of a long way to go here. Don't blow it all early, that's all.
Well, I'm the same, man. I'm hearing it, man. It's kind of like, okay. I think Damien McKenzie's been really good. I think the balance of his game in terms of, we all know he's a threat, but he's actually driving the guys around the park, really nicely. Sean Stevenson's found some, some really nice form. But also, the guys that they've had to sort of bring in, Antonita Brown being injured, I mean, they've been good too. Really, really solid. Nankivell and Poipi in the midfield. But I guess it comes back, to the guys up front. I think this, Tukiaho, you've got the Retallick and Vai, and then the Lucy's. That is a solid. I don't think I've ever seen, a Chiefs, that sort of solid since, they were under the, Dave Rennie days.
Dave Rennie days,
yeah. In terms of the pack that they've got. So it's a bit like that. It's just kind of like, please, not please. I mean, they are. They've got a very, very good team. It's just they've just got to continue this hot run and then get themselves through to that sort of, I suppose, 4 or the 8.
Yeah, Mils Muliaina with us, 100 tests for the All Blacks. Be in Hamilton tonight, calling it for Sky. I can't go through every single game, so I'm going to pick a couple out. Hurricanes Blues tomorrow night is just an absolute crackerjacker, and the Brumbies Reds. And let's deal with that first, because I've been saying all week, mate, that look, the Brumbies beating the Blues to me was the best thing that had happened in that second round, because just as a fan, you want some competition for a start. You don't want it to be just an absolute New Zealand benefit, and also it just throws that question in: are the Wallabies, are the Aussies, are the Brumbies? Is there enough there that they are going to be really competitive? So it just adds such a point of interest. And this game tonight, tomorrow night, that Brumbies Reds will be brilliant.
Yeah, it's going to be huge. And I know for All Black fans too, you throw in the Eddie Jones factor as well.
Yep.
He's just, I think there was a picture, someone had taken a picture of his notes and a team that he had sort of named. I'd love to see that team, because, Martin, there is some real, talented players coming through that Reds team. Jordan Pataya at the back. And many have sort of spoken about his preferred position. I mean, I like the way this kid played, last week in the fullback position. He's got a nice kicking game. He breaks sort of tackles, and then you look on the Brumbies side of things. Again, similar to the Chiefs as well. They've got some, some really good depth. I mean, when you bring guys like Nick White onto the field and Laurel Seal, I mean, far out. That's an Aussie combination, and they finished the game off nicely. So they've got some nice, some really good forwards, some up front as well. For the Reds, I mean, this is going to be massive for them. It's a chance for them to really, back up. They lost in that first round, but back up again after a real convincing win last week. That they played. So I'm looking forward to that one. And you're right. It's nice to, that result. More that be it, if you're a Blues fan, that the Brumbies, are sort of competitive, and they've always had that rivalry, the Blues, and they've always really been close games. So I'm glad that the Reds, though, for me, are looking pretty sharp too under Brad Thorne.
We've got Sauce on. We've got the big Tom Robinson on the show, mate. And just watching him skin that fullback, I just thought, when I knew that we were talking to you today, I thought, man, how would you have handled that, Mills? Because he stood him up, mate. He stood him up and he whipped him on the outside.
Well, that's why I put him in my Form 15, because I know very well, as a fullback, when you're sitting there and you're going and seeing this big lanky guy, mate, it's not hard to miss because of his ginger hair, but you're thinking he's just going to try and go straight over you.
Yeah.
And then he puts a little bit of footwork on, and then bang, he's gone. So it was a wonderful try, but also good on a personal level for him, because he's got to give him a chance, because Ioane's been out. He's had a few runs of injuries. We all know how good he is, but just the way that he sort of, sized thing up and stepped off his right foot, but then to have the ability to go, you almost, as a fullback, want them to run over you, because it's a lot better than someone sort of going around you when you're a forward. But
especially afterwards when all your teammates are looking at you going, so what happened there, pal? Oh, he
So,
skinned me.
exactly.
He skinned me. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. So no, he played well, and it was a wonderful try.
Yeah, that game, Hurricanes Blues, I mean, it's always, as I say, it's just something that most fans really look forward to. And as a Hurricanes fan, I mean, we just love this game, mate. We love beating this team. No Ardie, but I like the guy. We spoke to Peter Lakai last year, and this kid has got the big raps on him, but he's also a really good person after talking with him. I just think he's got all the humble attributes that you need. He's a big physical guy. And they seem to be able to replace their loose forwards in Wellington, don't they?
Yeah, not bad, eh? When you be able to do that. I mean, Ardie's a huge loss. I mean, he's inspirational. You know, even the way he plays.
Best player in the comp, mate. I love him, mate. Best player
absolutely. In the comp. No doubt about it. But Lakai, he is a very, very good big talent. He's got a huge future in front of him. He's a big, solid man. He's an athlete, right? So he gets around the field, but against the Blues pack that are hurting, he's going to have to be a guy that sort of stands up. He's very young. You got to also remember. So that responsibility is going to obviously not just fall on him, but the other guys around him. But he's going to have to bring that physical presence, because there's going to be a huge hurting pack from the Blues going down to Wellington. They'll be wanting to hurt bodies, and now it's a really good opportunity for him to really stand up and sort of try and win that physical battle.
Can't wait, mate. It's just, it's only round 3, but, this is what you look for. You look for these key matchups, don't you? You look for things that you can pencil in and go, right, there's my Friday night or there's my Saturday afternoon or whatever. And, we got the Warriors playing back-to-back with the Hurricanes Blues, so, crossing the coast. I love it, mate. I mean, it's a perfect time of year to sit down and think, right, what am I doing on the weekend? I'm watching. That's what I'm doing.
And it's awesome, isn't it? I mean, usually we're into round 2, round 3, and you're going, why are all these mistakes? The Warriors, you're right, the Warriors are winning.
Yep.
1 from 1. I mean, it's exactly what you want, at this time of the year, and get excited about it. And loving Super Rugby at the moment. Long may it continue, so that you can end up, penciling those things and get watching those games, because at the moment we're seeing some spectacular things, which is fantastic.
And look, finally, you notice, and you'll be aware, I never asked you anything about the Ardie gesture or anything, because we've been yakking about it all week. I wanted to put a full stop on it and go, it's done. We've been through that. We don't need to talk about that. Thanks so much, Mils.
No, thank you, mate. It's always a pleasure to be on.